Brenda. Hey, beautiful. Long time no see. Today, for Brenda, I have this series called How to Solve an Event Planning Nightmare Like a Pro. And so I go through all the worst case scenarios and provide solutions so people know what to do should this particular thing happen. Now, today we're talking about the event budget constraints. Budgets are a big thing when it comes to events. Wow. Hi, Fabian. Thanks for joining. I watch your podcast. Thank you, Brenda. All right. So, how to solve an event planning nightmare like a pro. That's the series. And today we're talking about event budgets. One of the biggest challenges event organizers face is working with a tight budget. I know as a corporate event planner, when I approach companies for their events, they kind of don't have that as much angst as if they're a non-company person. When you talk to a non-company person about their events, they're like, the budget. If I give the budget number, then she may want to spend all of it, and because they don't understand. So my job today is to break it all down and explain it to you. So one of the biggest challenges event organizers face is working with a tight event budget. And if you see me looking down here, I'm talking to YouTube. When I look up here, I'm talking to Instagram. It affects everything: the venue, the food, the entertainment, the marketing, and the number and quality of attendees. Now, don't come for me when I say quality of attendees. Let me explain where I'm going with this. If you're launching a couture brand or a product or a new kind of car that is run on coconut oil or anything eco-focused that costs money, like a lot more money to put together initially, then you want to have the ticket prices reflect the kind of client that you're looking for. If it's a high-end kind of event, then you want to target the kind of clients that can pay for that product or service. If it's not that high-end, like let's say it's just, I don't know, like a plant sale, because I'm totally into plants, then the tickets can be $5, $10, no biggie, because you'll be selling the plants. If it's a couture designer thing, there's going to be a runway, there's influencers, there's models, there's lighting, there's catering, all the things, then you have to recoup your costs. And so the price for the ticket is different than if you were doing a planned sale. All right. My name is Melody Dixon, and I'm the CEO and founder of Pro Event Planners, curators of eco-focused events. Now, I support clients who are steeped in all things sustainability. It's in their life, like at home, they manage water waste and energy waste, and they recycle and compost. But they also take it into their business where they're trying to become paperless or not have any plastic bottles. And they take it into their events as well. No single-use waste containers, none of that. And they also choose venues that are not LED, LEED certified. And they talk to me because I have the, I guess, resources to get them all the eco-focused elements for their events. I also support people who have no idea about sustainability, but they're curious because they realize in their life and in their business, there's a lot of waste and they're not being kind to the planet. So I hold their hands and we take tiny eco-focused steps, and then compound them over time. They make a positive impact on the environment. Now, what is sustainability? Sustainability in its dictionary form is kind of meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of the future generations to meet their own needs. I like to explain it as God is expansive and big and creates intentionally. And as we are part of God, we have the propensity to do the same. We like to invent things, design things, create art, make recipes, so many fun things we get to do with the resources we have. But we get to do so intentionally so that we have use of those resources throughout our life, and our kids do, and our kids' kids, and people 10 generations deep. We don't just ride it till the wheels fall off, we live intentionally. Now, there are three pillars to sustainability. The first one is the environment. We get to reduce what we're already using, reuse what we have, and we get to recycle. I like to squeeze in a fourth in this section called upcycle. And I always give the example of the show that used to be on HGTV. It's called Flea Market Flip. And they would go to this flea market in New Jersey and buy old bicycles and old cribs and strollers and old wheels and convert them into high-end looking themed furniture, uh, coffee tables, center tables, dining room tables, artwork, so many different things. So those old things that you would throw away, they get a second life, and then the cycle starts over again. So that's the first pillar of sustainability. The second one is economics. Yes, if you're changing out all your regular light bulbs now in your house and you're now going to LED light bulbs, there's an initial cost. It's like when a rocket's going to space, it burns 90% of the fuel at takeoff, right? But with the changing the light in your home, over time, you'll see your light bill reduce because you're using less energy because it's more energy efficient. If you do different things to manage water, like if you're about to take a shower, you don't have the shower running until the water gets hot. Or if you're washing the dishes, you don't run the water all the time. You have a container, soak the stuff so it doesn't get hard, soap it up, and rinse. You don't have the water running the whole time. And over time, you'll see a reduction. If you're consistent, you'll see a reduction in your water bill. Now, because it's sustainable and eco-focused, that means it also gets to make money. It's not going to serve you well if you're spending all the money to do all the green eco-focusedness and all your money is done and you're not seeing any kind of positive results from that. The third pillar of sustainability is social responsibility. So we get to take care of each other. We get to love each other as we love ourselves. So everyone gets a place to live, food to eat, healthcare, a way to make money to take care of their family, and freedom to kind of express themselves. So those are the three pillars of sustainability. And my job is to take these three pillars and all the sustainability is, take it into your event and make sure that, yes, your event is fabulous. It's well decorated, food is good, the vibe is good, but you're also being kind to the planet. All right, so that's what sustainability is for me and how it pertains to event planning. Now, today's topic, today's event planning nightmare is the budget. With the rising cost of everything from coffee to AV equipment to venue rentals, an event budget is more valuable than ever. You got to pay attention to the budget for sure. Why is it important? Well, for starters, a thoughtful budget can mean the difference between a financial flop, meaning you start the process of planning the event and halfway through planning, you run out of money. Or it can be a massive success if you manage your budget well and include all the right elements for your right target audience so that the message you want is delivered and you get the desired ROI. Win-win for everyone. By bringing your financial details into one place, event budgeting makes it easier for you to, one, understand your event cost breakdown, control your event expenses and revenue, and measure the ROI of your event or conference. I think one of the reasons why people aren't comfortable with talking about their event budget is the fear that whoever is planning the event just wants to have that number so that they can know how much they can spend, to just spend it just to be evil. If you've ever been into like a Louis Vuitton store and they have I don't know, let's say the Neverfull bag. I think it's like $1,000 or something like that. It's a tote bag. Nothing special. It doesn't bring you coffee. It doesn't help you in the garden. It's just a bag, a big open bag with a closure. That's it, and has the company logo all over it. $1,000. You will never see that bag on sale. You'll never see a BOGO. You'll never see a 50% off. None of that. As such, it should be with entrepreneurs. If you're going to use their service and you want the best, research, of course. If you are not sure, get 3 quotes for the event and then decide. But don't expect a vendor to offer you the full regalia of their services, and then you want it because you need it for your event, but then you're asking for 50% off. That's not a thing. So what I encourage planners that I network with to do is, if Brenda says good one, if the price you're offering is out of budget, then show the client options as far as different budget packages, or remove some things from the package and have the client do those things, so that, one, as a planner, you're pricing out resentment because you don't want to do all the work and then not get paid what you think you're worth. And for the client, they feel, okay, the budget is more manageable now because I am doing some of the things. So they get the budget they want, and then you get to pay for the work that you do. Win win for everyone. So I'm going to show you, I think I have like eight ways to manage your budget. All right. Number 1, set financial goals for your event. If you're doing an event where you need to sell tickets, and your goal is it's going to be towards a building fund or towards, I don't know, whatever it is your company goal is for that budget, have that number in mind, so that you know if each ticket is $10 or $100, you know how many tickets you need to sell in order to meet that goal. Hey, Monique. Today we're talking about event planning nightmares, how to solve event planning nightmares like a pro, and today we're dealing with the budget. So you came in at number 1. Number 1 is to set the financial goals for your event. Decide how many tickets you need to sell to get the amount of money that you need to do the thing that you want to do. If it's a social event and you're not trying to make money for anything, you just want to have a wedding or a party, decide how much money you're willing to spend to make it all happen. Even if you're not sure on what it would cost, have some kind of number in mind. So that'll be a conversation starting point. Number 2, determine your fixed and variable cost. Now, a fixed cost, as it implies, doesn't change. And with events, that would be the venue. The venue is the venue. I would only caution you if you are based on the number of tickets you need to sell. Number of tickets equal number of people. So if you need to sell 200 tickets to make the money that you want, then you need a venue that can accommodate a good 250, 230 people, just to be on the safe side. All right. But once you make the venue, that's it. Another fixed cost would be entertainment. If you're renting a band or having a saxophone player go up on stage and perform, the cost for his service doesn't change whether you have one person show up or you have all 200 people show up as you expected. A variable cost would be food and beverage. And I typically work with my caterers and make sure that within a week to 72 hours, I have my final count number, so they know, okay, this is enough time for me to buy all the food and resources needed to take care of the event. So those are the fixed and variables. So determine what they are, and that's going to be a good measure for how much money you need to have. Number 3, negotiate with vendors and suppliers for discounts, freebies, or value-added services. Some vendors are happy to provide discounts if you're booking your event in a time when they have an opening on their calendar. Maybe it's coming towards the end of the month and they need to fill that hole in their booking calendar of, wanting to make sure that they meet their revenue goals for that month. Your booking is a last minute booking. They'll be happy to do whatever it takes to get your business. Freebies can look like maybe an extra hour here or there, or additional flowers. Like if you're doing a wedding, the florist can throw in the toss bouquet for free because they already have the flowers, they already have the remnants. Why not? And it's not going to cost the bride anything because they're getting it for free. Or they can do value added service. If you're hiring an audiovisual company and they are helping the keynote with his speech, maybe they can offer to get the speech ahead of time and stored in the cloud for that day. So if the speaker forgets the thumb drive with their presentation, the AV company already has it at no additional cost. But all those freebies and discounts and value added are even better when you go through an event planner, because event planners are a steady stream of business for vendors. If you are a one-off client who goes to a particular vendor, they may try to give you a good rate depending on the hole in their calendar. But when they work with planners, they know they can depend on pro event planners to give them events every month or every few months, whatever it is. But it's a steady stream of business, and they add, I guess, bigger value to that. They're more open and more flexible with that because they know this isn't a one-off thing. All right. Number 4, look for sponsorship or partnerships from organizations or individuals for financial or in-kind support. In the hospitality field, we call that a trade. I used to be a director of sales for some hotels in Miami, and we would do things and partner with restaurants or, I don't know, tours in the Everglades and do packages. So I will give them certain room nights for the owner and his staff or family, and they will give me some tickets for my clients, and I would package the room and the tickets together and sell it. So mutually beneficial relationships like that could definitely support and kind of help you pad your budget a little bit. All right. Number 5, use social media and word of mouth to create excitement and draw attendees. It would really be disappointing if you created this big corporate event to launch your new product and you're expecting 200 people and only 50 people show up. So start off, what I do for my clients is to start a buzz. You start in the planning stages of the event. Jump on and talk to the people on your Instagram or your X or Thread or wherever and say, hey, Lisa. Lisa's with Prairie Hill Flower Company. Thank you for joining the most beautiful flowers ever. So today our event planning nightmare we're solving is budget constraints. So we're at number 5. Hey, Lady of Harp, thanks for joining. This is Crystal. She is a harpist. Thank you for joining today, my love. All right, so we're at number 5, how to solve an event planning nightmare. Lisa says, I'm committed. AF. Absolutely. Absolutely. I have a message to spread, and it's my way of serving the people. give away event content for free, but with an eco-focused tip or twist. It's what God's called me to do. So I happily show up every day. So today on how to solve an event planning nightmare like a pro, we're doing budget constraints. And Crystal has says budget with like lots of exclamation marks. She knows budget. When people say budget, it's there. But so far, I've given 4 good tips on what to do to manage your budget and putting it together and managing it along the way, kind of giving you pockets of ease. And number 1 was to set the budget, the financial goals. Number 2, determine your fixed and variable cost. And fixed would be the venue, variable would be the food and beverage. Number 3, negotiate with vendors and suppliers for discounts and freebies and value added services. So, and I gave the example of the Louis Vuitton Neverfull bag. There's no discounts there, but maybe they can do a value add of something. Maybe buy the bag and you get coffee while you're waiting for your bag, or champagne. I don't know. That's their thing. You get to decide what your value add would be for your service. Number 4, look for sponsorships or partnerships from organizations or individuals for financial or in-kind support. So if you partner with a saxophonist for your event, they're just starting their business, they want to get their name out there, then for sure you give them the opportunity to play on your stage at your event, and they get to take pictures of them and the audience, and they also get to give out their business card and maybe take a minute or 2 and promote their business. That's a big value because now they're doing that in front of 200 people live, and the people are getting to experience the saxophonist services. So win-win, right? We're at number 5 now. Use social media and word of mouth to create excitement and draw attendees. I would start the engagement with everyone from the planning stages because people like to see the behind the scenes of it all. So I would talk to the people in my social media. Hey guys, this is what I'm intending to do. I'm doing this event for this reason, and I'm going to take you along for the ride. Today we're doing XYZ. And then I come another day. We got the venue. This is what it looks like. It's going to be great. I can see this and this and this. If you want tickets, the link is in the bio, or here's the link. And so you're selling as you're giving them the tour behind the scenes. And what that does is it develops a relationship because they can see you go through the good and the bad, and they're learning, and you're communicating with them, and you're showing them. And it's engaging because they watch you go through the problems and solve the problems. And then on event day, they may show up and celebrate with you. They may share the content and say, this is what this person is doing for their event. It's a worthy cause, support it. And you definitely get to ask them to do so. Ask them to share, ask them to buy the tickets, ask them to invite people. Ask. All right? Have not because you ask not. So ask. All right, number 6, employ tech. And one of the tech that I'm specifying is an event app. It may cost a little bit depending on who created the app. But what the app does is it scales your event as far as staffing. If you have the app, people can register for your event or buy the tickets through the app. They can give their menu options and talk about food allergies and everything through the app. You can network through the app. You can connect with new vendors and attendees through the app. In fact, there are some event apps that allow you to do all the registration and all that, but when you're going through the show floor, it'll pop up and say you expressed an interest in going to the booth that has like Jamaica Tourist Board. They have a booth at a travel trade show. Don't forget, you're coming up on the booth. It's going to be on your left. And so the app gives you these alerts along the way so that you can stop by the booth. Or they can say, we're having a promotion at XYZ at this particular booth, go there. Or we have a pop-up session, or the session you registered for is about to start. All those things. And at the end of the event, you can print a report that shows how many people registered. You can tell how long they stayed, what booths they visited, and what the revenue was that they spent at the event. Huge, valuable information that's not only great for marketing and sales, but will also support you in doing the event for the following year. All right. And it may not have to be as elaborate as that. That was just an example that I know of. They have less involved apps for weddings where you can track people and gifts and arrivals and changing of itineraries and the program and all that. There's an app for everything. But apps help you automate, and that eliminates the need to pay staff, or at least help you lessen the amount of staff, because hourly rate, you have to be monitoring that. Bathroom breaks, lunch breaks, and I love giving people jobs, but the point of this is to manage. The point of today's show is to manage the budget, and apps are a great way to kind of manage that. All right. Number 7, keep a close eye on your finances, adjusting your budget as needed. If you realize, let's say, you're going eco-focused and you don't want to do plastic bottles of water. Yes, that can add up if you have 200 people. But if you realize that if you can save some money by having containers of water, and that's going to save you some money on the budget and be eco-focused. And when I say containers of water, they have these large acrylic cylinders or glass that look like giant mason jars. You can fill them with filtered water or purified water or spring water, my favorite. And you could put fruit in there. So you could have one that's all citrus based with blood oranges, regular orange, lime, lemon, tangerine, and just fill that and have that be a citrusy kind of water. You can have one that has strawberries and basil. Fruity, refreshing. You can even have one that has sage and blackberry, which is a little bit more herbaceous with a hint of sweetness. So visually, it's beautiful, but also it elevates your brand because your attendees will be like, wow, they're health conscious, they're forward thinking, there's no plastic bottles, and all that goes to support their impression of your brand. And that saves you money as well. And as you go along, you can decide, do I really need to have this many servers? I estimate a good 1 server per 25 guests. If your RSVP numbers have gone down to 150 from 200 people, then you don't need the 2 extra servers that you had previously scheduled. It's a way to manage your budget. All right. Number 8, look at actual numbers, analyze and use for your next year's events. All the reporting from that event app that I was telling you about, and there's so many on the market. And if you don't have an app, whoever is managing your event planner will have a guest count. We'll talk with the caterer on the food and beverage count. We'll talk to the bar about the liquor that's left over so you know how much was used. The decorator, how many guest tables, how many centerpieces. And once you get all the numbers in, then you can get a grand post-event total of what was actually spent. And you can see where you overspent in certain areas based on what was left over. Like I did a company picnic last October, and the client was expecting about 100 staff, and including family and kids and all that. And she was like, just, I need 600 bottles of water, and I need this many full pans of food. And we're also getting Chinese food and barbecue, and we need and so many things. And there's so much food and water left over. It was crazy. The good thing is that she had takeout containers, so all the staff got to take extra food home. But I also supported her by recommending to donate the leftover food. And that's one of the third pillars of sustainability. You get to give food to the homeless. And so there's an organization, Broward Outreach, which is not too far from the park where the event was. I called them up and I arranged to deliver the food, and they were so grateful. And it was a couple pans of food. It wasn't anything big and elaborate, but we were able to give to people, and giving is such a heart filling experience. The people who received the food was good. I felt good. The client felt good. And they're like, for future, we're going to keep their contact information. So when we have events, we can always donate the excess food to them. Now, what that also says is she gets to look at how much money was spent on the food and how much food was left over. Yes, we want to donate, so maybe there's some wiggle room with that, but for the most part, it was just way too much food. So she could absolutely cut that food budget in half. Absolutely. Now, managing all of this is a lot. As a corporate event planner, I get to do all that for you. I sit down with you and talk about what you want for your trade show, what you want for your couture brand launch, all the things, and what your expected return on investment is and how much money you have to spend. We put it all together, do a proposal, and I hit the ground running once you approve it. And I will make sure that your budget is managed, things are tracked and recorded. So when we do our post-event meeting, I can say you initially wanted to spend $2,000 on food. You ended up spending $3,000 because your guest list grew, or you ended up spending actually $1,500 because your guest list shrunk. And then for next year, it's like a good foundation for figuring out monies for your budget. All right. Now, if you're interested in this, it is called my Pro Event Package. That's a package where I do it all for you. I hashtag hire it done. We talk about the details. I take it and hit the ground running, and that frees you up to be your keynote speaker, to enjoy your wedding, to focus on your product launch and your designs, to impress your venture investors and all the things, so that you don't have to worry about the details of the behind the scenes, because that's what I do. The link is in the bio for Instagram. For YouTube, the link is going to be in the description of this live. All right. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to support you on all things event planning and sustainable events and eco-focused events. My name is Melody Dixon, CEO and founder of Pro Event Planners, curators of eco-focused events. My email address is info@myproeventplanners. All right. That's the end of the show. Brenda, Fabian, Monique, Lisa, Crystal, thank you so much for joining me today. And I will see you tomorrow when we solve another event planning nightmare like a pro. All right. Thank you so much for joining, guys, and take care.